Hey there, MBS here, and I'm filming this in Canberra. Canberra, my hometown. This is where I grew up. I lived here from the age of 1 till the age of 25, and I'm back here visiting my mum and my brothers and their kids, my nieces and nephews. And where I am right now is I'm in a bus shelter, but not just any old bus shelter. This is my bus shelter. This is the bus shelter that when I started going to high school, this is where I went to get on the bus in the early morning, a couple of buses to get to school, and this is where I get dropped off at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock each day after school, and I'd walk the 10 minutes home to dump my bag, have dinner, get on with my homework, all of that good stuff. So two thoughts come to mind for me to talk about when we're talking buses and bus stations and the like. So here's the first one. As I'm sitting there, I'm remembering me as a 13-year-old boy or a 14-year-old. So this is ridiculously enough 40 years ago. 40 years. And there's something very interesting going back to the start of the journey and thinking to yourself, well, actually, how far have I come? Because there is a way, and maybe you do this as well, I know I do, where I smooth out my history. I make it feel like it was inevitable that I'm going to end up where I was and who I am. And if I think of myself now, I feel, you know what, I've got a good sense of who I am, and I'm pretty competent and I'm confident and I'm doing work that I love, and yay for that. But I kind of think perhaps I was always like this. And there's my friend the magpie going in the background. And actually when I sit in that bus shelter, I go, I wasn't always like this at all. As a 13 and a 14-year-old, particularly going to a brand new high school, I didn't really know anybody. I was a bit nervous and a bit shy and not totally sure of who I was or what my voice was or what I was trying to do in this world. And actually it's really helpful to just remember really how far I've come. And I'm celebrating that in me. I'm like, you know what, Michael, nice job. You've done okay. And I might suggest that to you as well, to say, look, there's a way that we can so quickly forget how far we've come, how we have unlocked different versions of ourselves, how we've reinvented who we are, how we've made these leaps in terms of our development and our ambition and our capacity to feel and to love and to be ambitious. So lesson number one, pause for a moment to celebrate how far you've come. Maybe this is particularly helpful for me to remember for myself, because I am certainly wired to be thinking ahead a lot. I tend to be going, okay, what's next? And it's really good and helpful and celebratory to stop and go, hey, where are you now? What's happened? So that's the first lesson. The second lesson that I'd like to think about when it comes to bus shelters is Finland, and Helsinki in particular. And there's a fairly famous story about the Helsinki bus routes. It goes something like this. When you go to the central terminus in Helsinki to get on a bus, even though they've got, and I'm making these numbers up, let's say 40 or 50 or 60 different routes, what you notice is that for the first 10 miles or so, the buses all basically follow the same 2 or 3, maybe 4 different routes. Nothing much is different. So when you get on your number 17 bus, you think to yourself, what's the point of being on this bus? Because actually number 4, number 6, number 21, number 23, number 38, number 72, number 108, they're all just traveling the same distance. I could just get on either of those buses, it would all be the same. And there's a way as we live our lives and we do our work where we can say, and particularly when we take on a project or we're trying to start something new, where, you know, shortly into the journey we can go, I don't know what the point is here, because it's just the same as everybody else. I haven't really found my own path yet. And you can see where this is going, I'm sure, because after 10 miles or so, all the pathways, all the bus routes in Helsinki, they start to bifurcate and find their own separate paths. And so it takes a while for you to see the difference between bus 17 and bus 38 and bus 108. Don't get off the bus too soon. So this is really an encouragement not to quit too soon, to stick things out. There's a whole other lesson about knowing when to quit and not holding on too long to the thing that isn't working, that's probably another video at another time. But when I come back to this bus shelter and I think about where I started and also the journeys I've taken, part of it is lesson number 1, remember how far I've come in that time. And lesson 2, notice the power that's happened from just sticking on one bus for longer than might be comfortable, because it's only by sticking on that bus that you end up somewhere interesting. If you picked up a copy of my best-selling book, How to Begin, Start Doing Something That Matters, well, there are additional downloads and templates and video you can get at howtobegin.com.